Can you harm your own children? Just like every other day, today your daughter left the house around noon, first heading to school and then to a course. She should have been home by evening before dark, but after 1 or 2 hours, there was no sign of her. You rushed to the neighbors, checked the school and the course, but no one had seen or heard anything. Now, as you say this, it sounds like an ordinary missing person story, doesn't it? Let's take a closer look at the situation and see what really happened. On August 21st, 2024, 8-year-old Narin leaves her house. When there is no news from Narin by the afternoon, some family members and villagers start searching for her. They search the house, school, mosque, barn, and her uncle's house. But it's as if Narin is hiding in a very small area. No one can find her. All signs point to the fact that she is somewhere around there, but no results come up. At that point, someone notifies the gendarmerie, and a larger search and rescue operation begins. Despite searching carefully, the gendarmerie is also unable to find any clues. They begin to question everyone in the area. About 250 people are questioned. Here, things start to get complicated because a few of the people questioned gave inconsistent statements. Some even pointed fingers at others, suggesting that they were suspicious of them. Not stopping there, some even joined the search efforts and misled the gendarmerie. The gendarmerie eventually realizes something is off and decides to check phone tower records. As data from the day Narin went missing and the days before it start coming in, suspects become clearer and more surprising. Yes, you heard it right. Surprising. Because the phone records from the day before and the day of Narin's disappearance show that her uncle, Salim Güran, her mother, Yüksel Güran, and her brother, Enes Güran, were in close proximity to each other, often in the same areas repeatedly. A small detail stands out. This meeting place led the gendarmerie to a barn near the house, and when they began searching there, they realized they were at the right place. However, they were not pleased with what they found. They discovered bloodstains and some torn items in the barn. Yet, they could not proceed with the next steps because something was missing. Either they couldn't see it, or the people involved were too clever. Remember, the suspects were always present, so the gendarmerie couldn't focus on the right place. In such cases, the gendarmerie initially turns to the village head and continues based on the head's directions, or with the help of someone trusted by the head. One thing everyone overlooked was that the village head was Narin's uncle, Salim Güran. The gendarmerie suspects the village's water channels, searching them multiple times. They also searched the surrounding areas, the cemetery, but couldn't come to any conclusions. The gendarmerie could suspect as much as they wanted, but without evidence, they couldn't do anything. They decided to go back to square one and re-interview people within the narrowed group of suspects. During these interrogations, one more suspect was arrested, a neighbor named Bahtiyar. Bahtiyar was arrested because he had met with Salim several times that day, both in front of their houses and outside the village. Without asking anything else, the gendarmerie decided to make Bahtiyar an informant. He couldn't explain much, nor could the gendarmerie understand him. As you listen to this, you will be horrified. While Bahtiyar was in his garden, Narin's uncle passed by the house looking both anxious and nervous, and called Bahtiyar over. Salim said, "Listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you." At that moment, Bahtiyar noticed a sack in the back seat of the car, though he didn't yet understand what it was. Salim continued, "Take this sack and put it in your car. Then drive away and throw it in the water channel, breaking it into pieces so that no one will find out what's inside." Inside the sack was the body of Narin, the innocent child that everyone had been searching for. Although Bahtiyar initially didn't want to do such a thing, Salim threatened to kill him and his child. Knowing that Bahtiyar was financially struggling in the small village, Salim offered him $10,000 to do the task. Eventually, Bahtiyar reluctantly agreed and quickly took Narin's body to his car, drove off, and left. Since there was very limited camera footage, no one suspected Bahtiyar until he confessed. The body, which had been searched for 5 times over the course of 15 days, was found in 2 hours after Bahtiyar's confession. As things gradually come to light, now it's time to find out who the killers are. However, the gendarmerie was once again going down the wrong path, almost at a point where they thought they were about to figure it out. The most striking part of Bahtiyar's testimony was the statement, "There is a relationship between Salim Güran and Yüksel Güran." This short sentence shocked everyone and caused the gendarmerie to arrest 2 more suspects. The gendarmerie thought they were chasing one killer, but they had already arrested 2 people. Then, through cross-examinations and contradictory statements, it was revealed that Enes Güran, the brother, was also arrested. The reason for this was the bite marks on his arm. Although he claimed he had done it out of anger, DNA results told a different story. It was also revealed that Enes had previously engaged in zoophilia and was inclined to deviant behaviors. Following these developments, the gendarmerie arrested 3 family members on suspicion of murder. There were hundreds of documents and records in the case file, which spanned across 10 folders. However, none of these documents contained concrete evidence of who exactly killed Narin or where she was killed. The forensic report confirmed that Narin was strangled to death on the day she disappeared. Since the discovery of Narin's lifeless body, demonstrations were held across the country. For hours and days, people protested for the criminals to be found and brought to justice, shedding tears together. This tragic event became the focus of the entire country, and the day of the trial arrived. The first person to be questioned was Nevzat Bahtiyar. Bahtiyar reiterated his claim that there was a relationship between Salim and Yüksel Güran, and that Narin's uncle killed her. He explained that the reason for his contradictory statements was fear. Enes Güran. Nevzat is a dirty man. Enes Güran described Nevzat as a friend of his uncle, calling him a dirty man. He claimed that the bite marks and bruises on his arm were self-inflicted and answered, if Salim killed her, would Nevzat hide it? With, he would. Yüksel Güran. Don't tarnish my honor. Yüksel Güran, who attended the trial in a black headscarf and black clothes, answered some questions with tears in her eyes. When asked, do you have a relationship with Salim Güran? She replied, kill me. But I have no relationship with Salim. She reacted by pointing to Nevzat, saying, look at his face, is this a man? Don't tarnish my honor. Salim Güran. Let Nevzat come forward and confess. Salim Güran denied the claim that he killed Narin and stated that he didn't know who killed her. When asked if he had instructed his niece, Birsen, to lie about the time she saw Narin, Salim replied, I never said anything like that. They gave those statements after the gendarmerie beat them. I never spoke to them. In response to the claim that he misdirected the gendarmerie, he said, who am I to guide the whole state, judge? The 3 individuals charged with murder were sentenced to life in prison, while Nevzat Bahtiyar was sentenced to 4 years and 6 months in prison. After the trial, the Güran family continued their lives in the village, while Bahtiyar's family announced that they were leaving the village permanently.